Hey, this is Taylor with Sky Valley Midwifery, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about advanced comfort measures that you can use regardless of where you're delivering, whether that be at home, a birth center, or in the hospital, to keep both comfortable and progressing during your labor. When most people think about comfort measures in labor, they're thinking of tools like the epidural or IV pain meds. And in the out-of-hospital setting, in both home birth and birth center, those are just not options that are going to be available to you. But that doesn't mean that there's not comfort measures available to you. So in today's video, we're going to talk about all the different tips and tricks that I have that you can use during early and active labor. The most important thing that I want you to remember is that if you're having a straightforward and typical labor experience, meaning that your baby is full term and is in a good position that's not putting additional pressure on your skeletal structures, like an elbow to the hip or their back of their head on your sacrum, you're gonna have all of the tools necessary. Your body's gonna have all the tools necessary to get through natural labor and cope through it well. Labor is not something that I want you to fear. You should be excited for it. You should get in the mindset that if everything prior to you being in labor is lined up where you feel safe and secure, you're going to be able to get through this process. So do not forget that. Throughout all of the comfort measures I give you, that is going to be the most important. In early labor, which is where your body's going to progress from having a closed cervix to about 4 centimeters dilated, the best thing that you can do for your body and the best way that you can stay comfortable is to keep your mindset in check. So eliminate any fears that you have, and if you have fears that are there, address them and talk them through with someone that you have around, such as your support person, or call up a trusted friend and talk it out. The biggest thing that you want to do is get your brain focused and your body relaxed. So if it's nighttime, go take a nap, go try to sleep. I know it might not be comfortable enough to the point where you can truly get into a full deep sleep, but any type of rest is going to count at this point. While you're doing that, laying down and resting, get on your left side. On your left side, you can lay down, put a pillow in between your knees, and check out and get as comfortable as possible. In addition to that, ways that are going to help stay comfortable and stay focused in this point is to get up and add a little bit of movement in here and there. Take a little walk, take a hot shower, get up, get ready, do whatever you were going to do that day to really just distract yourself and progress through that point without getting too much in your head. Once your body's progressed through early labor, your body's going to go into what we call active labor. And this is where your cervix is going to make the most change. So about 4 to 5 centimeters, at that point, your body is going to change into this active labor pattern where you're having strong contractions that are lasting at least 60 seconds, closer to that 90-second mark. And you're having them frequently enough. So that means anywhere from 5 minutes to possibly even 3 minutes apart. So from the beginning of one contraction till the next, and they're lasting that long time. This is the point where people worry the most about not having the tools they need to stay comfortable. So if people are planning a hospital birth and they want an epidural, this is the point where they typically would access that. In the out-of-hospital birth sector, meaning the birth center and home birth, we're not going to have the epidural available. So what do you do? My first recommendation is going to be heat therapy, whether that be a heat pack or at this point implement hydrotherapy. So that means a shower or a birth pool when you're really having those active labor contractions can be a wonderful way to stay calm and relaxed and be able to breathe through these contractions. The next big tool that you can use is your breath. When you have your breath mastered, it's going to help you keep the right muscles in your body relaxed. So when you're having a contraction, when you want to focus on your breath and add in even a little bit of noise to help focus on your muscles, you're going to want to keep your sounds low. It's pretty natural for people when they start to feel contractions that they might feel overwhelming at first. They start making noises that are a little bit higher pitch, like, let's not do that. Keep it low. Your support people can help remind you to keep your noises low. It sounds silly, but what it's really doing is when you keep your noises low, you're keeping your muscles relaxed to do it. You are relaxing the muscles in your throat. Your vocal cords are relaxed enough to where the rest of your body's going to follow in suit. So train up your support people to coach you through your breath and making sure that you're taking nice deep breath in and nice deep breaths out. In active labor, movement is essential. I would recommend every 20 to 30 minutes changing up your position. What this does is it allows you to open up your own pelvis and adjust the baby by using gravity and that force of change to do some of the work for you. That means your body does not have to work as hard with their contractions, and it can just use that motion alone to help progress the process. Some of my most favorite positions in active labor are hands and knees, standing upright, walking about. If you're going to do a position laying down, go on your left side, and whatever you have around, whether it be a peanut ball or pillows, put something between your legs to help keep your hips squared off and not pinched. Also, the use of a birth ball. Birth balls are great. All it is just a traditional yoga ball, but it needs to be of the proper height where your knees are lower than your hips. If your knees are elevated above your hips, that's not going to be doing what you want your pelvis to do in a labor situation. It's not going to be super helpful. I find that birth balls in the shower can be awesome. If it fits in the shower, sit down on it. You can lean up against the wall, and then you can have your support person run hot water down your back. Or if the shower is at a position where it can do that, just sit, enjoy, and relax. Music. Let's not forget the power of invigorating our other senses. Put on some music that really gives you the proper feelings of what you want to feel in labor. You want to increase oxytocin, so put on music that gives you chills. That's the kind of music that you want to listen to. And another sense that you can invigorate is smell. So get out the essential oils, get out candles that you love. I find that citrus works really well in labor. It's very refreshing and gives you a little extra boost of energy through that time. Hydrate like crazy. I really like iced water. I think iced water, it's another one of those senses that cold touch on your mouth can be very refreshing. And also cold towels for your body, just things to keep you at the proper temperature so you don't feel overworked and you have enough energy to keep going through this active labor experience. As the baby descends, they're naturally going to put pressure on your skeletal structure in your pelvis with one body part or another. I mean, you think about the size of a baby and you think about the size of your pelvis. Yes, the baby fits through the pelvis, but it's pretty tight, narrow little hole there. So they're going to touch your pelvis with their own body, and that can create discomforts that can be alleviated by some counter pressure. I know the term counter pressure is thrown out there a lot. All it is just providing a little bit of pressure back in because the baby on the inside is probably putting pressure on the skeletal structure, pushing it out. Counter pressure on the back can be really helpful. And for every person, it's going to look a little different based on where they're feeling the sensations. So make sure to verbalize to a support person where you're feeling that pressure so that they can allow a little bit of counter pressure on that spot to help alleviate that discomfort that can feel just like pressure, when you push on your arm and stuff, it's going to feel like that, but internally. So providing a little bit of pressure back, really nice. Next up in labor is transition. And transition is just the tail end of active labor where your body's making that transition into wanting to push. So because it's transitioning into being ready to push, you're going to have lots of senses in your body that are firing off. In addition to the contraction, your body's going to start wanting to, instead of just cope with the contraction, it's going to cue to you to start bearing down into the contraction. And that can feel really overwhelming. So for transition, the best thing that I can recommend to you is to focus back in on your breathing. This is a short part of labor. It's shorter than active labor on a whole. And so the biggest thing for this stage is just to really sink into it, find one position that's comfortable, potentially something like side lying, and really just focus in on, I'm gonna get through this chunk of labor. I'm gonna keep calm with my breath. Breathe in for the count of 4 and breathe out for the count of 8. That really is going to set your body into this relaxed state as much as you can while everything else in your body is figuring out what's going on. The last thing you need to do is add to it by externally stimulating your body. Just chill. Then that leaves pushing. What ways can you push that are most comfortable? Do I need to fear pushing? Is it going to hurt? No, do not fear pushing. I don't want to say it might not be a little uncomfortable, but it really does, compared to labor, feel better. Sounds crazy, but you gain back a little bit of this sense of control over your labor. So look forward to pushing, tackle it head on, try all different kinds of positions, hands and knees pushing, push in a running start position, sit on your birth ball and push for a while. Obviously, you're not going to be able to birth your baby on your birth ball, but that doesn't mean that you can't push for a little while on it. Left side lying again, and even sometimes laying on your back with your legs elevated in certain ways can feel really good while pushing. This is the closest you've been this entire labor time to meeting your baby, so sink into it and be excited for it.